Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for joining me today for another Nimble training webinar. Today, we will focus on helping you segment your database and send targeted group messages. We are recording today's session, and everybody who has registered will receive a recording. Today we will cover 6 scenarios of using segmentation. We will also explore how to send group messages, and we will spend a few minutes at the end to cover all your questions. So please use the question box to let us know. And my colleague is in the background and she'll be gathering all the questions for me to answer at the end of the webinar. So what is Nimble segmentation or segmentation in general? It's a feature that it's supposed to help you do something with all the contacts that you may have brought into Nimble upon import. So when you first register for Nimble, there are so many different places from where you might want to import your contacts. And our contacts are all over the place. They might be in our Outlook, they might be in our Google contact, they might be on our LinkedIn. Maybe we have used a different CRM in the future that we might need to export data from and import into Nimble. They might also be in various different spreadsheets that we are using across the organization. So after you register for Nimble, the first step is to bring all the data in, organize it, and then you might want to do something. So you might want to reach out to specific groups of people. You might want to pull up a specific group of people and mark them as important, or create tasks to remind yourself to follow up with them. So that's why we spend a lot of time developing the segmentation feature in Nimble, because we feel it's one of the most important things to be able to quickly access your data and be able to do the next steps with them. And the next natural step after you segment your database in many times is to be able to email the people. So we also created Nimble group messages, and using this feature is really helpful, not just in the way that it saves you a lot of time on retyping the same messages, because it allows you to bulk email up to 300 people per day per user from your Nimble account. But it also makes it look more authentic, because Nimble allows you to use Nimble helps you to basically grab the first name of everybody, so to make the outreach more personalized. And it's also sent via your email provider. So instead of, many of you have, or I'm sure, received emails that were obviously sent from like a marketing automation system, and it said send via 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that lets you know that the person who's emailing you didn't segment the database, they just blasted everybody. So one of the common questions we get about group messages in Nimble is if it's a tool that would maybe replace your MailChimp. And the answer is no. That's not why we created the feature. We created for people to help people nurture their contacts and use it together with the segmentation. So the idea is to segment people into groups that make sense, smaller groups that you can then customize, and then use this group message feature to email them. And then when you review the analytics, we'll also give you insights on the clicks and opens, so you know how people are interacting with your message. Currently, I mentioned currently the limit is set to up to 100 messages per user per day. We do have upgrades available, so you can upgrade up to 200 or 300. And if you're interested in that, you can email us at billing@nimble.com, and we'll be able to take care of the update. So I'm just going to take you into my Nimble account right now, and we'll go through the 6 different scenarios of how you can segment your database. So here we are in Nimble. when you first log into Nimble, you will usually land on our today page, and the second tab, that's where you would be able to see all your contacts. So on this main page, you can do some super basic segmentation. So on the left side, you can see all your contacts that you or anybody else on your team have imported into Nimble. You can also see just people or just companies. I already mentioned that there is a feature in Nimble called mark as important. So you can actually select certain contacts and mark them as important, and then you would be able to see them in this folder to make sure that you touch them more than maybe the others. You can also see those contacts in Nimble that were recently viewed, recently edited by you or anybody on your team, those that you or anybody on your team recently contacted, or the people that you set up a stay in touch reminder with. So that's another feature in Nimble that is supposed to help you stay in touch with people and nurture them, because there's only a certain amount of people that we can remember. So this is what it's supposed to help you with. You can use it to help Nimble remind you to touch with them weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, or of course you can set no reminder or reset it. So this is the basic segmentation, but the main feature I want to talk about today is the one that we launched a few years ago, and that's the main one. And the way you access it is by clicking into the search box here. And as you see, we have certain fields that pop here. We call them quick filters. These are just some of the fields that Nimble allows you to segment on. More are available here, so we'll go through all of them. So the first scenario I prepared today is using tags. Tags are the easiest way to organize your contacts in Nimble, and many of you are probably utilizing them more than maybe custom fields. So segmentation gives me the ability to select a tag. So I'm going to go with a list of our current clients, for instance. So I used already one of the filters, but Nimble allows me to further segment my search by applying any other tags that I might need. So in this case, I can use the filter location. So maybe I'm going to be going to Las Vegas. So by doing that, Nimble will only give me the people that are tagged with tag current clients 2019 and reside in Las Vegas. So from here, I could select everybody on this list, and then I could mark them as important. I could set up stay in touch reminder. I could apply additional tag. I could also export them, could delete them if I wanted, or I could send them a group message. The other scenario that I prepared was also using a tag. And this tag I actually created by importing a Twitter list into Nimble, which is an amazing way of great way to prospect, basically, because there's a lot of people that are power users of Twitter, people that are maybe sales influencers themselves, and they have taken the time to carefully curate lists. So we have when you install our Chrome extension, it will automatically plug into Twitter as well, and we will allow you to import any publicly available Twitter list into Nimble and basically steal it. So that being said, it will only be imported with the information that people make publicly available on Twitter, meaning you won't have their email. So in this case, I could maybe further refine the search by the number of people that follow these people. So we utilize influencer marketing a lot here at Nimble. So I am interested in seeing who from these people have more than 20,000 followers. Then I could tag them. I could create like VIP sales tag for them. And I could also save this search. So anytime a new influencer enters the segment, either by me adding them manually or somebody else on my team adding them, the segment will be updated. Another scenario that I wanted to show you is how you can work with people that have previously covered you, journalists or bloggers that have previously covered you or your business. So every time we come across an article in which somebody's talking about Nimble, we make sure that we create a contact record inside of our Nimble database about them, and then we tag them. So we use the tag press road about Nimble. And another filter that you could use to further refine your searches in Nimble is bio. So maybe in this case, I would be looking to making an outreach about our upcoming Nimble update. So I would want to know who are all the writers that have previously covered us, because if they've previously written about us, there's a big chance they might want to do it again, because it looks like they're familiar with the topic. It's a topic they cover. And they're already familiar with us. So I'm going to try to see if any of their bios contain the word CRM. So currently, one company and one individual pop up. So then again, I could save them as template. I could save them as CRM writers. And as more of them enter the segment, it would get updated here. So I would just be able to quickly locate it. And then again, I could send them a group message. I could export it. I could apply additional tag or mark them as important. Nimble also gives you the ability to find out who has birthdays from your contacts. So it's a nice touch to be able to pull up the to be aware of who from your clients or partners are having birthdays, and then just send them a quick note on email or LinkedIn, or give them a call, send them a text message. So one of the options here is to actually see who has who's going to have birthdays in the fourth quarter. Okay, and then I could just go onto the person's contact record in Nimble, and I could schedule a task for myself to make sure that I follow up the day of his birthday. You can also use date range. So I'm going to see if there's anybody in my Nimble database that has birthday between August 4th and August 10th. And Ben actually has birthday today, so I could just go ahead and send him a message straight from Nimble. I could send him an email, I could send him a Twitter mention, or directly message him on Twitter. Another field that you can use to segment your database on is any custom field you might have created in Nimble. So in addition to tags, Nimble allows you to create 5, and I'm actually maybe going to go onto specific contact record and show you what it would look like. So when I'm talking about custom fields, when you're on somebody's contact record, this is where we default to. We want to make sure that when you land on somebody's contact record, you always see everything that has been done with the person. Like, are there any deals pending? What is the history of communications? Are there any tasks pending? In addition to that, we also have data fields here. So this tab will be enabled by default. This will be all the basic information about the person or company. And in addition to that, you can create up to 5 sub-tabs. So I created this that's called business info. And then you and anybody on the team could just add any information that you might need about the person. And then of course you can report on it by running the segmentation. So for this one, I wanted to see everybody whose purchase date field contains 2019. So all these people, then again, I could take whatever action that would make sense for these guys, like send in a group message. The last scenario of how you can use segmentation I prepared today is again using a tag, and this is one way of using segmentation and group messaging that we use internally every time we want to update the entire company about something. We use Nimble because then we can see how people are interacting with the messages, how many people open, who we need to send another email to, bring it maybe on top of their inbox. So I can quickly pull up the list of the people that are in our marketing department, and I could send them a group message. Nimble also has templates. So if you find yourself retyping the same message over and over again, and you want to save time on that, you can create message either here in the group message editing window and then save it as a template, or you can do so in settings. So it would be here under email settings. And as you can see, you can also add your own signature. It's very easy to edit. You can basically just copy from your Outlook or Gmail or any other email provider you use and save it. And then it will be automatically attached to any individually sent messages or any group messages that you send from Nimble. So here we are in the group messaging. I want to send an email to everybody on our marketing team. And I already have a template for that because that's a message that I send them on a regular basis. So I could just use the template. And as you can see, the text has been added. I can make any changes I want. I could hyperlink anything. We also have some basic formatting here. I could attach any images. I could also attach files. I could also, to group messages in Nimble, I could also attach unsubscribe link, which is very important, especially if you're reaching out to people that you do not have a relationship, maybe people that haven't opted to receive emails for you. So in order to be GDPR compliant, it would be useful to include the unsubscribe link and give people the option to unsubscribe from any future mailings. And then when people choose to unsubscribe, they will be tagged in Nimble. So for any of your future outreaches, you could just apply the unsubscribe tag and they would be excluded from any mailings. One important thing that I want to cover in group messaging is the ability to add a merge tag, which really helps you to customize the outreach and make it more personable. So instead of hey guys, I could just use a merge tag on first name. So Nimble will automatically attach their first name, and if it was different type of outreach, I could also use the company merge tag. So I could say go and add, and Nimble would automatically grab their company name. Before you send the message, I highly suggest sending a test message to yourself, which will come into the inbox of the email that you have connected to Nimble. It's always good to do that to make sure that you click on all the links you have included, make sure they work, they're leading where you want people to go, and that there are no typos in the message, and so on. When you're ready to send, also review if all the recipients are listed here, or if maybe you might see some errors here. And in this column, you would have anybody who you don't have email for. And if that happens, you'll see the first name and the last name of the person. Next to them, you would see a little green button, and you would be able to use our contact discovery feature, which is called Nimble Prospector. So Nimble Prospector runs on credits. I believe that on trial you have 25 credits that are 25 lookups available, and then you can also upgrade to more. And with that, as long as you know the first name and the last name and the company of the person that the company the person works for, we will be able to find their contact information. Once the search is complete, you'll have a button here that says save. You'll save it, and the people will just show up under recipients, and you'll be able to send to your list. When you're ready to hit send, the message will go out, and it will go through the email provider that you connected to Nimble. So in my case, I connected my personal Gmail, so the message will come from my personal Gmail, and I'll also be able to see all the messages under my sent folder in my Gmail, and nobody on the outreach list will know that they were a part of a group outreach. So to all of them, it will look like I took the time to send them a message individually. And once you do send it, you'll be able to go back to group messages here, and then click into the message and see the details. So you'll be able to see how people are interacting with your message, how many people open, how many people click the link you included, how many people maybe to how many people it wasn't delivered to. So then you would know that you need to go and double check if you have the correct email address for them. You'll also see how many people are unsubscribing and who they are. We do not have automated follow-ups in Nimble yet, but since we're giving you the insights into how many times are people opening your email, you can do it manually. You can set up the follow-ups manually. So let's say you wanted to send additional email, possibly a templated message to anybody who open your message more than twice. You could select them here and then send them a message right away, or you could apply a tag to them and maybe ask somebody else on your team to do the follow-up, because maybe you would want to give them a call instead of sending them email. So right now, I went through everything that I have prepared. I'm going to go back to my presentation and make sure that I cover the upcoming webinars. And then we'll also have some time to spend on Q&A. So the next training webinars, the upcoming one will be next week on August 14th. We will be focusing on getting things done in Nimble. We'll focus on activities, how you can use tasks to make sure that things are getting done and nothing's falling through the cracks, how you can use it to assign tasks and to-dos for your team members, what it looks like on their end when you do so, and what it looks like on your end when they finally complete the task, and what it looks like on the individual's contact record. So we will focus on getting things done in Nimble. And on August 28th, we will be focusing on creating pipelines, tracking deals, and reporting in Nimble. So we will, in Nimble, we have a multiple deal pipeline feature, so you can create as many pipelines as you want. So if you're selling multiple products, or you have many different teams that are selling different things in your company, this is probably a feature that might be useful for you. So on September 11th, we will cover how to prospect better and smarter with Nimble. We will be using our browser extension. Currently, we have the browser extension for all the main browsers. So it doesn't matter if you're using Chrome, Safari, Firefox, or Microsoft Edge, you can download the extension, which will help you to use Nimble outside of Nimble. So then you can just pull it up, hover over any name anywhere on the internet, and either create a new record, put them in Nimble right away, or Nimble will surface existing record, and then you'll be able to either update it if you maybe see that the person's no longer working for the company they did 2 months ago, or you will be able to create to-do straight from there. So if you're talking to somebody on LinkedIn, you can pull up their Nimble record on LinkedIn and update it, or create like a to-do for yourself or anybody on your team. So this is what we will be focusing on September 11th, and we'll cover all the different places where you can use Nimble to do prospecting, like social media or any websites. On September 25th, we will be focusing on using Nimble as a team, and we will also cover our mobile apps. Currently, we have mobile apps both for iPhone and Android. So if you're not utilizing them yet, I would recommend you at least check them out, because they're really useful and help you. They allow you to use Nimble when you're on the go, when you're meeting with people, when you're at a conference. And we also have a business card scanner. So you can, when somebody hands you a business card, you can just quickly take a picture of it, and Nimble will create a contact record for you. We also have a special offer for new users today. So if you are not current Nimble user and want to check it out, you can go to nimble.com/offer/webinar30, and we will give you 30 days for free.